Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to look at this Ficus benjamina bonsai I have created myself a couple of months ago. As you can see, it is definitely overgrown, so it looks more like a shrub right now than a bonsai. So the plan for this one today is to prune it back and also to wire it a little bit, giving it some shape, setting it up basically for its future bonsai journey. Before we start looking closer at this tree, just a quick reminder, if you enjoy my videos and this video specifically, of course feel free to leave a like, and if you enjoy my channel, of course feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you will never miss a video of me in the future. But now let's start right away with looking at this tree. I want to give you a little look from all the different sides and angles on the tree, and you can see it is definitely overgrown. But I do see behind the branch structure that there is definitely potential when it comes to this tree. It is very healthy. It has grown the entire winter actually. So you can see a lot of new growth happening right now on this tree. Very healthy growth. It doesn't really lose any old leaves either. So I'm really happy with the overall development of the tree. But when it comes to the structure, of course, there's still a lot of things we can do. And that's what we're here for today. Right now, it is definitely overgrown. You don't really see much of the tree. You see a little bit of the stem. The stem, of course, is a different story. At the moment, it resembles just a stick rather than a already fully grown bonsai, of course. But we are at the beginning of the journey with this tree, and that is okay. But what I wanted to say is you don't really see much of the structure. I mean, from this side, which I do consider anyway rather the front, you see a bit more of the structure of the tree. But here it is definitely a bit overgrown. This was the side that was facing the window rather, so the sunlight or the source of light. And you can definitely see that it has grown more on that side than on this one. Though, of course, you still have some growth here. But I would focus a bit on this side in the beginning when we look at pruning back. And how we're going to prune this, we of course already look in how we want this tree to grow in the future, in which direction. What we don't want is any crossing growth, and I can already see, especially at this point here, we do have some crossing growth, for example, coming in from here. So this one is just completely in the way, so we can take this one out. The goal behind this right now is just to declutter a little bit. It is quite messy. I have never really looked into the branch structure on this tree until now, so that is definitely something I want to focus on today. We have here a very long growth with no leaves, so I would basically just cut it back to a nice looking leaf pair down here. So just take this out. Here we also have quite a long growth. We do have a little branching going on here, so I definitely don't want to take it back too far. But at this point, I think we can start over again. We have here this direct growth with a little side branch coming off also. And I think what we can do here is simply shorten this new growth a little bit. So take it back to 1 or 2 leaf pairs, and also here shorten it a little bit. Having it hopefully with directional pruning, growing a little bit more in this direction, filling out this area, and this one here with a little side branch underneath here. We might actually have to take it back one more here, having it grown then in this direction to spread it out a little bit here. So as we left here, this leaf on in this direction, normally new growth will also follow in this direction. And the same on this side. So this way we just even out the growth a little bit here in the back of the tree. Also here we can look at it first and see, I think I want to have this grow out rather in this direction, which is it is doing anyway right now. So here I won't take anything at the moment. A very big question is this growth right here that we left on in the beginning. I did leave it on because I thought maybe a side branch, but for that it is definitely too low on the tree. I also am afraid that it's going to lead to reverse taper here. So if we have a branch here, I'm afraid that in this section here, it actually could lead to a little bulb forming. So basically here, the trunk being bigger and thicker than on the base of the tree. And that's why I think it is time that we actually take out this growth here and take away this branch, opening up this side, already making the tree look, in my opinion, better because it didn't really fit the picture, I would say. My goal for this tree is, I think, rather broom style, to be honest. I have a lot of informal upright ficus trees. I want to train this one rather in a broom style to give just a different look on the tree. And I think what we can still nevertheless do is, of course, work on a nice branch structure and set it up in a good way. Here we have a very weird looking branch. It's growing straight up. It's crossing with the main trunk line. So I would also take this one out, opening up the tree a little bit again. Here we have a very, very long branch. And definitely also here on top it is too long. So I would again move back here. I can see here is a new branch forming. I want to grow out a little bit then from here. So again, we move back to a leaf that would probably lead the tree to then grow in this direction. Here I would not go back right now. I would actually prefer for this leaf to settle in a bit more and then prune back to that point to have it further grow in this direction. At the other branch of this tree, so this one in the back here, I do also see it is already starting to ramify, but I still want to go a little bit back on this one as well. So I will cut it back to this branch. Then there's one in front of it. Again, looking at it from different directions. This one will fill in here quite nicely. This one will fill in here quite nicely. This branch here actually is missing something coming from this area here. So, I mean, we do have this one in the back that in the future could take that position, but we can maybe also bring this one by cutting it back in this direction a little bit more to fill in this little gap here. So the top of the tree I already quite like. We definitely pruned it back quite nicely. Here I'm not quite sure yet if we keep that on because it sticks out a little bit too much right now. Actually, as we have another leaf back here, I think we can even bring it back to this point. This is a Ficus benjamina, so I'm a bit careful with not taking out all leaves on a branch because Ficus benjamina is not that prolific when it comes to budding back, so keep that in mind. Always leave maybe 1 or 2 leaves or a leaf pair on a branch so it doesn't die back. What I don't like is actually the parallel look of those 2 branches, so we will again later on apply some wire probably to this branch because it looks a bit weird. I don't like this look of it, of those 2 branches here. We might even take this one out, but we'll keep a look on that in a second. Those leaves here, I do tend to take out normally. They come directly from the trunk if they don't look like they will develop into a branch. Up here, for example, we have one that looks more like it might actually develop into a new branch, so leave this on. But those others, especially if they're lower at the trunk, I normally do take out. This branch right here, we also have to keep an eye on. It might lead to inverse taper here, but that is something, if we keep ahead of it, shouldn't be a problem. Looking from the back again, here it's still a bit crowded, especially down here with a leaf. It's just a leaf growing downward, so we can simply take out the leaf. Opening up a little bit here, and this side branch here is still a bit too long. The question is, do we want to have it grow outwards or upwards? Actually, as we're going for more of a broom style look, I would say we want to go upwards, so we take that out. And we have already considerably shortened the branches and also removed part of the foliage on that tree. So I think it is a good start. Now I would look a bit more into wiring still. However, one big question that is still looming over this tree is how do we proceed with those 2 branches here. I do like definitely the branch structure of this one way more. We have nice ramification going on. We actually have this little back branch, let me show you, is actually also part of this branch right here. So we definitely won't take out this one. The question is, do we take out this one here? Because it doesn't really add that much to the tree. It actually takes away a bit from the apex, in my opinion. It's too straight for too long. It comes out too strong here. It might also, again, here, make the trunk too thick in the future. So I think the best way of taking care of this is not actually wiring it out, which we of course could do, but it leaves the tree out of balance in my opinion. Even if we wire it like in front a little bit, that doesn't really help either. So I think we will actually take this out completely. I'm trying to do this as flush as possible, so also improving, of course, the taper again on this side. I do not use cut paste on ficus. I have never done it. I have never had an infection on a ficus, so I always leave these wounds open to simply heal on their own accord, and it has always worked well for me. Of course, a little wound like this normally is not a problem anyway, but just something I tend to do. So of course, it is a bit bare right here. It will fill in again. We already have set up with directional pruning some of those branches to go in this direction. As we have taken out some now, let me check once more if there is something that we have to adjust to grow in this direction. But we have this one probably filling out from the back then nicely. This one growing over here. And on this side, we do have potential here, if the tip is still viable, to grow also in this direction. Although that leaf is a little bit damaged, we'll see if it actually stays on it. Just checking if this branch here might be too long at the moment, so we might even take this one back a little bit. But as we have no growth here, yeah, it's a bit too leggy, to be honest, when we look at it. So I would take this one out as well. I think I can actually do this just with the scissors, as ficus has quite soft wood anyway. Let me see if I fully got it. No. So let me just go in here one more time and take this out. Just bring this tree a little bit more together again. Something we might actually do with this one in the future. However, here I don't care that much that we don't really have any growth down here, because it is more imbalanced still with the rest of the tree. So if this is growing upwards, then still I do find this has potential. We might wire this a little bit to give it more movement. I do see potential here to actually wire it a little bit up, and we will do that right now. So we do place some wire on this tree. As we're really at an early stage in this tree, we can set up a lot of things that will pay out in the future, and I think a little bit of wire is definitely something that will pay off in the future. Probably we will wire with this one here. I'm not gonna change the position of this one too much, because I will have it simply grow a little bit upwards. It does that anyway by nature. And here we just bring some movement in, almost make it like sit here a little bit more, I think, giving it this look of like a bit older branch that the weight is already bringing down a bit, but the growth and the movement is still upwards. Just bringing this a little bit in so it doesn't stick out too much here. Here I have a leaf that I'm also not too happy with, but yes, we can actually I would actually take out this entire branch here, to be honest, and bring it just a little bit down. Nevertheless, we will apply the wire, as we said, just to give it a little bit of an outlook. So I have 2 millimeter wire here. Just let me measure how much we're gonna need. It's not gonna be a lot. So that should perfectly fit. And then we just go ahead, place the wire, move it, yeah, in this case, like right away up here. Bring it from down, basically. Really making sure it is close. Then we will go once around the main trunk to give it the stability that we need, and then make our way up here. Trying not to trap too much foliage, especially on young trees like this. That is simply something I keep in mind. Not too much foliage, so why should we risk of taking out some if we can save it? So right now I have wired it out. That is definitely something I don't want on this tree. As I said, it's not really what I'm going for with the style on this tree. I rather want this to go a bit more upwards, but with a little bit more movement. Now that we move the wire here, we might actually be able to bring it one more time here to give it the stability. That is a bit too much, I think. So make it look a bit more natural with just growing up like this. And like a little bit more outwards here still. And this one here. I'm actually quite happy. We might have here then in the back, filling out still better a little bit. But I do like the look actually. It could be a potential cool feature on this tree in the future. Just a slightly lower branch that has like this slight curve to it, slight movement. Not too unhappy about that. And here we might do something similar with just moving it also a bit in this direction, a bit more up, giving it this almost arms-like look. Opening it up a little bit, but keeping it compact to create in the future more of a broom style look. So yes, I think for now, let me see where the growth is here going, in which direction. Here we could actually also potentially go back one more leaf still, so it would grow rather upwards. Here that is fine. I think we have arrived at a point where we can leave the tree as is. I think we set it up quite nicely for the next growth season. Looking one more time from all different angles. Yes, I'm definitely happy with this tree. I think there is potential. I still left it a bit open which direction to go in the future, as it is such a young tree, such a small tree. There is still many chances of really deciding on a final look. I do think the broom style could look better on this tree because the trunk line is not as good as I would like to have it for more of an informal look. But the way it is right now, I think it looks quite nice. It will fill out quite fast, probably again with new growth and new foliage. And then we will have a look at a very nice bushy tree up here, keep it clean at the bottom and have a nice broom style looking tree. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the pruning decisions I made and the wire that we applied to this tree. If you have any questions concerning this tree and my ideas on that tree, of course, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will answer them as soon as I see them. If you enjoyed this video, of course, feel free to leave a like. And if you enjoy my videos, of course, you're more than welcome to subscribe to my channel and stay up to date on me and my trees. So hopefully I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care and goodbye.